Singapore has chosen not to implement online voting in the next general election, as there are many risks involved, and this includes the authenticity of such votes. The topic was debated as a bill was passed to allow for an election to take place during the COVID-19 pandemic. Vanessa Lim with more.
We have not implemented online voting as it is difficult to prevent impersonation and ensure voting secrecy. Even with SingPass, we do not know for sure if the vote is cast by the person himself or by another person who is assisting him. In addition, there are system reliability issues and security risks such as vulnerability to hacking and cyber attacks.
Mr. Chan said many countries have grappled with these issues, which is why Singapore said no to online voting. It comes after several MPs asked whether such technology could be employed to ensure safe distancing and reduce crowds at polling stations. Others sought clarity on campaigning rules.
It is important for these changes to campaign rules to be made known publicly and to political parties as soon as possible so that candidates and parties have sufficient time to make necessary preparations and to source for service suppliers. It is also critical that these modifications do not result in an escalation of campaign costs.
To that, Mr. Chan said there will be sufficient time for parties to prepare. He added that the Elections Department will work with the Home Affairs Ministry and Health Ministry before issuing an advisory.
For those things that are conducted in defined, structured environment, the fewer the variables, the more we are able to write it down in clear rules. And we should do that upfront. For those things that, like campaigning, which is conducted in a less structured environment, which are more subject to the evolving health and security considerations, not all of that can be written down prior. And not all of them may need to be written down because then that will circumscribe the actions that may be possible in due course.
There were also concerns about how the new law could affect voter turnout, with provisions to exclude those serving stay-home notices and quarantine orders.
Will the minister please clarify on the constitutional invalidity of depriving quarantine voters of that right to vote, especially how they have no legal defence if they exit their quarantine holdings to vote?
This is a misconception. This bill enables special arrangements to be made to allow those on SHN staying at designated facilities to vote under special arrangements that will minimize their contact with other voters. Thus, the arrangements afforded by this bill should allay concerns among the wider voting population who might otherwise be dissuaded from voting because of in-person voting by those under SHN.
He said fewer than 1,000 Singaporeans of voting age are currently on quarantine order.